We are dietitians from Birmingham Community Healthcare NHS Trust, and we work with the diabetes antenatal team at the Birmingham Women's Hospital. This is an introduction, and your dietitian will contact you soon to discuss extra information and answer any questions you have. The dietitian will support you and offer more detailed individual advice. Please make sure you have watched this video to the end, made changes and are testing your blood glucose levels as shown by the diabetes specialist midwives.
In your pack with the blood glucose machine, there is a leaflet called Healthy Eating in Pregnancy Diabetes, like this one. If you haven't got it in front of you, please go pause the video and get it. We will be going through it in this video. Take a look at page 2. We recommend a healthy eating approach, the same as we would recommend for everyone. Continue these changes after the baby is born to help with your health long term. The main focus is glucose, which is a simple type of carbohydrate. Glucose is found in sugar, table sugar, white sugar, but it's also found in other foods containing sugar and other carbohydrates. When you eat glucose, your body produces insulin, which is a hormone, to break the glucose down and move it into your body's cells, where it gives you and the baby energy. You don't need to cut glucose out completely, but during your pregnancy, your insulin isn't working properly, so your body can't break down too much glucose at one time. We need to try not to have too much glucose at one time so that the insulin your body is producing can work better. You are going to become a bit of a detective now and learn which foods contain glucose and how these affect your blood glucose levels. The goal will be to try to have smaller portions of those foods and try to choose ones where the glucose is released more slowly into the blood. You will get a much better idea of how much carbohydrate your body can cope with at a meal or snack when you start checking your blood glucose using the meter.
So when should you eat? Think of it like topping up your car with petrol. You need to have some glucose for fuel or energy. As you use this energy, you burn it off, and then you need to top it up again by having more glucose. This is why regular meals are so important. It's best to have 3 smaller meals and, if needed, 2 to 3 snacks a day. Eating little and often spreads your carbohydrate intake out, and your body will find it easier to break down, helping to keep your blood glucose in the ideal range. If you tend to miss meals, think about when you could have 3 smaller meals a day. So there's a breakfast, lunch and dinner. Try to eat your evening meal before 7:30 p.m. This will help to give a better fasting blood glucose reading in the morning before breakfast. If you feel hungry before bed, have a low carbohydrate snack. Look at page 10 for some ideas.
If you look at the Eat Well guide on page 3, we will use this to explain which foods contain glucose. The yellow section on the Eat Well guide is starchy carbohydrates. Foods in this group raise blood glucose. You need to reduce portion sizes of these to help achieve your target blood glucose. We suggest about a quarter of your plate should be starchy carbohydrates. These are important to include and should be part of every meal. It is our body's preferred source of energy. As you reduce the portion sizes of carbohydrates, increase the amount of vegetables or salad on your plate to about half the plate. This will help to fill you up, and they are full of vitamins, minerals and fibre. Portion size ideas are on page 5 to help you further. Food or drinks containing carbohydrates are turned into glucose at different speeds. This is called the glycemic index, or GI. The carbohydrate foods that increase blood glucose levels more quickly are high GI. Low GI choices are best. These foods cause a slower increase in your blood glucose. There is a table of GI foods on page 7. The lower GI, good choices, are in green and the higher GI in red. Good options include new potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown or basmati rice, whole grain bread, porridge oats and pasta. Don't forget to avoid the very high ones at the bottom right, and these include brown sugar and honey. Portion size still matters. Stick to 1/4 of your plate being starchy carbohydrates.
The green section on the Eat Well guide is fruit and vegetables. Vegetables and salad, not including potatoes because these are starchy carbohydrates, tend not to have much effect on blood glucose levels, so have these freely. Fruit contains a natural sugar which increases blood glucose. It's okay to have fruit, but 1 portion at a time, and it's best in between meals because there is enough glucose at meal times already. Tropical fruits such as banana, mango or pineapple are higher in natural sugar per portion, so choose fruits which are lower in natural sugar. Discuss this with your dietitian. Dried fruits such as dates or apricots are concentrated natural sugar, therefore limit these. For example, 1 tablespoon of raisins is 1 portion. More portion size information is on page 6.
The pink section on the Eat Well guide is beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat and other proteins. Foods such as meat, chicken, fish, eggs and plain nuts do not affect blood glucose unless they have a batter, breadcrumb or other carbohydrate coating. If you are vegetarian or vegan, your alternative proteins may contain carbohydrates, but they are often slower release, lower GI carbs, e.g. pulses, lentils and beans.
The blue section on the Eat Well guide are dairy and alternatives. Milk, plain yoghurt and cheese contain natural sugar, which affects blood glucose, but the calcium these foods contain is very important in pregnancy. Keep to 3 portions a day, as shown on page 4. These portion sizes should not affect your blood glucose too much. If you use a plant-based alternative, check the label for an unsweetened type and make sure it's got added calcium.
The purple section on the Eat Well guide is oils and spreads. Fats such as butter, margarine, ghee and oil do not affect blood glucose levels, but are high in calories and can lead to weight gain. The foods on the bottom left of the Eat Well plate can be called extra foods. Apart from giving us some pleasure, they contain a lot of extra glucose with no other nutritional benefits.
Drinks we recommend include water, no added sugar squash, tea or coffee with no sugar. Use an artificial sweetener or have without sugar to reduce your sweet tooth. Remember, not too much tea or coffee due to its caffeine content. You can drink fizzy drinks as long as they are diet or sugar-free. Plain milk is okay, but don't have too much. Overall, aim for at least 1.5 litres or 6 to 8 glasses of fluid a day. Avoid any drinks containing sugar. This includes fruit juice and smoothies. These have a very high GI and increase blood glucose rapidly.
What happens when you feel hungry between meals? Think about healthy snack ideas if you feel hungry between meals. The best type are lower carbohydrate ones, and have a look at page 10 in the leaflet for examples. A booklet with more snack ideas is available. Ask your dietitian if you'd like a copy when you talk to them. Information about reading food labels is on the bottom of page 8. You need to look at where it says carbohydrates of which sugars. The number needs to be 5 grams of sugars or less per 100 grams of that product. A good way to remember is that sugar is a 5-letter word.
Try to be as active as possible. Activity helps to reduce your blood glucose. Allow your food to settle and then do some activity after eating and before the 1 hour after meals test. Activity can include walking, housework, or other forms of exercise. If you're concerned about your weight, discuss this with your dietitian. Vitamin and mineral supplements are important during pregnancy, so continue to take these. And if you've got any questions, talk to your dietitian.
In summary, we've looked at how to include just enough glucose in your diet to provide energy for you and your baby while preventing high blood glucose levels. To get the right balance, it's important to include 3 regular meals with 2 to 3 snacks a day, following a healthy eating pattern, which you can continue after the birth of your baby. Just to remind you, choose low glycemic index foods. Be aware of food labels and portion sizes. For example, in main meals, aim to have half a plate, which is veg and salad, a quarter of a plate starchy carbohydrates, and a quarter of a plate protein.
Thank you for watching. We hope this information helps. To become a detective, take time to read the booklet again. You will find additional information we haven't covered in this video, such as food safety and alcohol in pregnancy. Record your blood glucose and foods eaten to see how these affect your blood glucose levels. The dietitian will be in touch to support you with this, so make sure you have any questions and your blood glucose levels handy.